the Biden Department of Justice is now trying to put in place some laws that are going to target white supremacy. The problem is, there really isn't any evidence of white supremacy almost at all when you actually look at the real statistics. So before I get into the story, just a quick reminder to like this video, to subscribe to the channel, but the best thing you can do is to share this video. So this is a very crazy idea for them to try to target this. It doesn't make any sense, and I'll explain why in a second, but let's get into exactly what's going on in this story. So we have here that it's saying that the Biden Justice Department is actively considering whether to give prosecutors new authorities to bring specific charges against domestic terrorists. Now, there's already charges against them as it is. Now, it says here, because the current laws on the books, to bring charges for arson, violations of weapons or explosives, and they're saying those laws are not enough, apparently, that they're trying to put something else in place to add additional charges to that. Now, the reason why this is a problem is because they really actually have no evidence of white supremacist attacks at all in the United States in that sense. The problem is that they're taking what they want things to be, the few incidents that they can look to and say, oh, well, that was a white person, so it must have been white supremacism. That's what they're looking at. Because think about the Atlanta shooter. This was the guy that went around and I think he shot like 8 people at a couple of different massage parlors. Now, 6 out of 8 of those people that got shot and killed were Asian women. 2 of them were white. They don't want to talk about that part, but they want to deem this guy as a white supremacist. Meanwhile, he never said or had anything that alluded to the fact that he did it because they were specifically Asian. But that's the way that they're trying to spin this. They're even looking at the attack on the protest at the Capitol on January 6th as being some type of white supremacist event, ignoring the fact that there were black people there, people of all races there, and that they weren't there for some type of weird racial issue. It was all about the election integrity. So it's kind of weird that they're taking this and using this as a reasoning to say, well, now we're going to stop all of this by implementing these laws and targeting this. Now, it goes on and says the Justice Department did not mention BLM terrorists, Antifa terrorists, because they don't want to do that. They're only wanting to focus on the white supremacists. That's why they're saying this. Now, once again, I'm saying white supremacists, and they're saying it, but that's not what this is. This is anybody that they disagree with politically. It doesn't matter how diverse that group is. It doesn't matter the layout of how many races there are in that group. It could be the most diverse group ever. If you coming out and you're supporting Trump to protest something, they deem it as white supremacy. It doesn't matter because that's all they care about is the headlines. I mean, remember what they did to the Proud Boys, where they said that they were these white supremacists. Meanwhile, the guy that is the head of the actual organization is Afro-Cuban. How does that work? How in the world does that work? Because they feel like they can lie enough that people will just believe what they say. They don't really care about exactly what the real truth is behind those situations. So, but like it says in here, they're ignoring the BLM terrorists. They're ignoring the Antifa terrorists. They're ignoring the cities that burned last year. These were organized things. These weren't just, and many people have talked about this, those events were not random at all. There were people that were being bussed into these cities to burn, riot, to stir tensions, to do all of that, to break the law, to steal stuff from stores. There were people that had the sole purpose of doing that. And we're just ignoring that those things are the case. Now, I can assure you that the damage that was caused in all of last year with BLM and Antifa and all of those groups far exceeds whatever took place on January 6th. And it's obvious that it does, but they don't like the fact that that's the case. And this is nothing but a political strong arm to validate trying to attack people that are just protesting, say, at a MAGA rally or whatever it may be. It doesn't matter what color you are, you're going to be lumped in as a white supremacist no matter what, simply because the politics that you have are something that they disagree with. Now, it goes on to say, is there some type of conduct that we can envision that we can't cover, or would it be an otherwise benefit in having something else other than what we're having now? And then the Wegman guy said, admitting the Department of Justice is looking to politically persecute conservatives. Once again, this is not surprising. So it goes on and says, currently no U.S. law lets the government designate domestic extremists as terrorists or bring specific charges for domestic terrorism. that contrasts the law to combat international terrorism, which allows the government to designate groups and bring charges for providing those groups with material support. But once again, we have to look at BLM, specifically Antifa as well. We have to. They have been the kind of the center of all of the ridiculous organized attacks that have been happening over and over and over again. I mean, at some point we have to ask the question, where are these white supremacists at? Where are these attacks? Point to where they're at. Because if you're going to come in here and say that you're going to be doing all of this stuff to add in all of these laws, please show me exactly where it's at. What proof do you have? Well, the problem is that the Democrats don't need proof because they believe that they can just look at the race of somebody and deem it as being a certain thing, and then people will just go along with it. The media, mainstream media, will go right along with it because that's what they've always done. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about anything else other than pushing the agenda. And this is just another thing that's adding on to that entire stack of stuff that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So with that being said, I thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.